Hey there, it's Jane from the blog chalkingupsuccess.com, and today I'm making a macrame and dried flower wreath. I've left links to all the supplies in the description to this video, and you can also get all the details on my blog at chalkingupsuccess.com. So I've got my roll of macrame rope, or macrame rope if you're in the States, and I'm tying the end of it onto my embroidery hoop. And I'm just using a basic knot for this, nothing fancy. And I'm going to wind this macrame rope or cord, whatever you want to call it, around the center part of the embroidery hoop. And I'm going to do that about 20 times. And I'm pulling on it as I'm winding it around because I want to make sure that it stays nice and tight. And now I'm going to cut the cord and tie it to the embroidery hoop with another simple knot. And now we can start making our first macrame knot. And now I think it's best if I stop talking and let you watch the video. I tried to go quite slowly so you can see how I make the knots, but if it's still too fast for you, then just stop the video after each step and then carry on when you're finished. There's also a full step-by-step tutorial for this over on my blog. If you just type in macrame into the search bar, then it will come up straight away. And as always, there are loads of tips in that blog post that I probably will forget to tell you about in this video. So don't forget to go over there and have a look at that blog post as well. And then you just jump over the macrame cord that you added to the middle of the embroidery hoop and carry on the other side. So once one half of the embroidery hoop is covered with the macrame knots, it's time to start adding some flowers. And this is just like making any other wreath. You take small bunches of dried flowers and tie them onto the embroidery hoop with a small piece of wire, and then just keep adding little bunches of flowers one over the top of the other so that you hide the stems underneath until you've completely covered the second half of the wreath. And then with the last bunch of flowers, turn it around and tie it onto the wreath in the opposite direction, because we don't want to see the stems sticking out at the bottom. So now we're going to tidy up the back of the wreath, and I'm just going to cut the macrame cord. And then I'm going to use my hot glue gun to add a dab of glue to the end of the cord and press it down against the last knot. I'm making this wreath as a Valentine's Day wreath. So the next step is to make the word love, and I'm going to make that with a piece of natural covered wire. And even though this is a Valentine's wreath, it's so pretty, I want to use this all year round. So what I've done is I've also made some other words that I can switch out into the middle of the wreath. And I've made the word welcome with some wire. And once Valentine's Day is over, I'm going to switch that out and hang that up in my hallway. And if you read the blog post, I've got a whole section on these wired words, and I gave you lots of examples of where you can use the wreath and the different types of words to use. Now I've got the word love nicely secured into the centre of the wreath. It's time for the next step, and that is making the bow. For the base of the bow, I'm using a piece of stiff burlap ribbon, and then I'm going to use some smaller pieces of ribbon to make the rest of the bow. And once I cut the ribbon into small strips, I want to trim the ends. And to do that, I'm going to fold them in half and then in half again. And then I'm going to cut them from the outside edge into the middle. And then I end up with this pretty edge. And then once all the ribbons are cut, we're going to lay them out one on top of the other. So you're going to lay the ribbons out like that. And then cut a small piece of the thin covered wire, or you could use floral wire for this as well, or a piece of cotton thread will do the job as well. And then we just pinch the bow in the center together and wrap the wire around it a little bit and tie it off at the back. And then we're going to use the ends of the wire to attach the bow to the Valentine's wreath. I keep saying Valentine's wreath, but really, because you can change out the word in the middle, the wreath is really versatile, and I can think of loads of ways you could use this. As a hanging decoration in a baby's room, for instance, or a baby's nursery, with the baby's name in the middle, and I think it would make a really lovely Mother's Day gift. Or, like I said, to just add the word welcome or home and hang it up in your hallway, which is what I'm going to do once Valentine's Day is over. The only thing my Valentine's wreath is missing now is something to hang it up with, so that's going to be the next step. To make the hanger, I'm using my Macrame cord again, and I'm tying it to the top of the wreath with a simple knot. To finish off the hanger, I'm going to slip these 3 wooden beads onto the macrame cord, and then I'll make a small hanging loop, and then my Valentine's wreath is finished. By the way, I'm really sorry about the lighting in this video. It's a really murky day outside and it's so dark in this room that I've got my studio lights set up, but every now and again the sun comes out from behind the clouds and messes up with my lighting again. So like I said, I'm really sorry. And this is how my Valentine's Day wreath turned out. Well, I guess I should say my everyday wreath really, because it's going to be my welcome wreath after Valentine's Day. If you found this tutorial helpful, I'd really love it if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to be notified when I upload a new video. That's it from me at Chalking Up Success this week. Happy crafting, and I'll see you next time.